Now, if I put into perspective the economy of Durga Puja, it is in 84,000 crores right now. How does that translate into $1 billion? Any clue?
No.
It is $10 billion.
Oh my God.
Almost.
So 1.8 or 2 even if I go for...
So it is 5 times that, right? The entire...
Without any advertisement.
Without promoting separately to the world, this is the economic value of this particular festival. And where are we lacking? We are lacking in not being able to promote this to the world, that we have a takeaway from a festival like a sheer art that is being displayed, which can be utilized in many forms, and that can be utilized in a global context as well, which we have never been able to showcase. Correct. And that is the only gap that we realize that we have. Authenticity we had. Only thing we had never been able to amplify it. The stories that needed to be told, we had not been able to do.
Hello friends, welcome to Jomiye Adda. I am your host Surya, and today's episode is going to be a ride through lights, dark, madness, money and the magic of Durga Puja. Now, most of us think Puja is just about pandal hopping, bhog, dhakis and that long-awaited new kurta, pajama or sari. But here's the twist. Durga Puja is not only the world's biggest street festival, it's also the billion-dollar economy. From Kumartuli's clay idols to Oyo hotel bookings, or we can always say from Pandal sponsorships to foreign tourists clicking selfies at Maddox Square, every corner hides a story of spending, fun, and let's be honest, a little bit of mischief too. And joining me today to unravel this massive puja economy with equal doses of humor and hard facts is none other than Mr. Arnab Basu. He is not just a puja enthusiast, but also a wizard when it comes to mixing data with Adda. Adda is a Bengali word which means gossip, and turning serious discussions into viral-worthy conversations. Together we will travel from Kolkata to London, from New Jersey to Paris, decode how much money actually flows during puja across the world. And also in Kolkata, why certain businesses like hotel, fashions, food delivery, even dating apps suddenly boom, and how by 2030 or 2035, the Durga Puja economy could compete with the GDP of a small country also. So buckle up, because of this episode is going to be loaded with data, confessions, laughter, and maybe some secrets of what really happens during Durga Puja. Stay tuned, because this is Jomiye Adda, and we are just getting started. And just to start, about Arnab. Arnab is basically IIM Kolkata graduate, and then he went to US. After passing MIT, he worked at McKinsey at Europe. So over to you, Arnab.
Thank you for having me in this show again. We had a lovely conversation.
Thank you.
And again, so much of enthusiasm regarding what we are doing at Durga Puja. And again, I am back here to again have some sort of fun conversations and, as we say, Adda.
Basically, we are honored to get you here again. So to start with, when you were young, say when you were class 7, 8, and presently at this age, how do you see the difference in Durga Puja, or how Durga Puja is becoming a globalized celebration throughout the world? Since you have worked in various parts of the world, you studied at best of the universities or institutions that is present on the earth at this moment, say MIT or IIMs. So we want to understand and gossip with you regarding your entire journey.
It's very interesting when you say about class 7 and 8. It is basically that class 7 and 8 was quite formative years for me, because that's when I actually started getting formally involved with local Durga Puja. And because in class 8, my father actually handheld me, where he was a long time secretary and treasurer. So he passed on that baton to me when I was in class 8 and said that you are now my assistant. So that's how my first stint as a formal. Obviously, I had been visiting that puja.
Correct.
In your locality. You at that point in time, it was more of a community coming together during the puja, having a lot of fun, adda and everything. But given that a formal handholding towards Durga Puja happened like that, and then I kept on getting involved into the entire finances of Durga Puja. And what I can say is, from a local puja, today this has turned into a global festival, which not only showcases something which only caters to a religious festivity or maybe some story of mythology, but into an economic powerhouse. So wherever we go, we realized that when we were traveling, we had been into many countries where there are a lot of festivals like this. But majority of them, if you at the end of it look at it from outside, it is more of you are enjoying that particular festival as a spectator.
Correct.
But in Durga Puja, we had always felt that we are getting involved in everything that is happening. And whoever is coming to you, you actually embrace those people into the fold and let them get that immersive experience. And that has always been there.
Correct.
And we realized that, and when it came to actually realizing this as a business, it was way back in 2017-18. Me and my co-founder Bodhisattva, together we were traveling and we were there in a hotel near Visakhapatnam. And one night we were just strolling around, and that was a Durga Puja Dashami day.
Okay.
And people like us who are passionate about Durga Puja, and we were missing the Bisharjon that happens
and the
during that,
Khala and all this
all those stuff, and we were actually reminiscing about that if we were in Kolkata at this point in time, what would have been happening. And suddenly you listen from the back, somebody shouts out, "Bolo bolo Durga Mai ki joy."
That's amazing.
And we just turned around and saw that perhaps somebody who were doing Durga Puja at Visakhapatnam, they are actually taking the idol for immersion, calling the way we used to call in Kolkata.
Oh, wow.
And it was like a divine intervention, we believe. That night itself, during that stroll, we realized that this is what we need to showcase to the world.
Correct.
If a place like Visakhapatnam is also passionate about this, and we have this originality in our own city, we should showcase it to the world. And that's how Greatest Show on Earth came to being.
Exactly.
So, and that's why we strongly believe that with all these experiences that we have together while traveling, with those experiences and what we see, what is being shown as a sheer art, if you look at how Durga Puja has evolved, that in itself should be considered as the greatest show on earth.
Excellent, Arnab. So just to tell you, any episode we always give a name. Okay, so what is your view if we name this as Mythonomics, mythology and economics?
It's a very interesting proposition, I must say, because I was actually having a conversation with one of our visitors.
Okay, so foreign visitors.
Yeah. So he came to us around 2018-19, and the entire thing we showcased, we gave them an immersive experience and all. So he took a one-day break and said that this is a sensory overload for me.
Oh, wow.
And why is it? Because we do not want a visitor to just come as a tourist, to just see three things, go and give me a testimonial about, okay, I have visited 3 places, these are wonderful, that is fine. That is not what we are trying to do at Greatest Show on Earth. What we are trying to do is, we want to bring those international people, the global audience, to witness Durga Puja the way we want to see Durga Puja.
Okay.
So when I am talking about Durga Puja, if I am actually participating in a Dhunuchi dance,
correct,
I want my visitor to also get that feel doing it themselves.
Okay.
Without even having that conversation that I am not feeling safe in that.
Correct.
So that is the cultural bridge that we are trying to bring in, that somebody, authentic story of mythologies, that should be provided to them. They should get an immersive experience, and there should be obviously an economics that is actually holding it all together. That is what we try to do at Greatest Show on Earth, that we should become that bridge where people will obviously come for the authenticity, but they will also look for the comfort, they will also look for the safety. How can we build that bridge?
Okay, that's amazing. And the journey that you have started, that's amazing really. So, just tell me one thing, since you have visited most of the major countries of the world, if we compare Durga Puja with Festival of Rio, I'm not going for the religious part or the mythological, but in terms of as a celebration, part of celebration only, or 25th in US or UK. So what is the difference that you can feel? And whether we are far ahead of them, but we are not marketing our Ma Durga.
Yeah, there are many things.
Okay.
So I cannot just give you an answer in yes or no here. It captures different layers. So if I just take up one of the festivals that is considered a vibrant festival worldwide, that is the Rio Festival.
Correct.
Now, Rio Festival, if you look at it, amazing. $1.85 billion annually, right?
Exactly.
So we are fascinated.
And it is growing.
And it's growing and it's fascinating, right? Now, if I put into perspective the economy of Durga Puja, it is in 84,000 crores right now. How does that translate into $1 billion? Any clue?
No.
It is $10 billion.
Oh my God.
Almost.
So 1.8 or 2 even if I go
even,
for...
so it is 5 times that, right? The entire...
Without any advertisement.
Without promoting separately to the world, this is the economic value of this particular festival. And where are we lacking? We are lacking in not being able to promote this to the world, that we have a takeaway from a festival like a sheer art that is being displayed, which
Correct.
can be utilized in many forms, and that can be utilized in a global context as well, which we have never been able to showcase.
Correct.
And that is the only gap that we realize that we have. Authenticity we had. Only thing we had never been able to amplify it. The stories that needed to be told, we had not been able to do. So can we take it up on us to start building those narratives,
Exactly.
so that people can come back and visit and understand the sheer art that is being done. And when I talk about sheer art, I am not only talking about the art that is being displayed here. What I am trying to say is, imagine a public street art festival happening for a span of maybe 5-6 months, where people are working around it. The sheer number of employment generated, 3 lakh direct and indirect employments, and in that 3 lakh direct indirect employment, there are 10 million people who get involved in it directly or indirectly.
10 million.
10 million people. So imagine the breadth and the depth of people involvement into that particular festival, which happens for a particular region in a particular city, and yet it generates so much of economic impact. So how can we actually, authentic stories can be built in, and that needs this sort of experience sharing to them. If you can create that experience, then people will come.
So basically what you are telling, the economic size of Durga Puja without such promotion throughout the world is more than as far as I recollect, more than the economic size of the smaller countries of Europe also.
Yeah. And if you see, even a Edinburgh festival, which is considered as one of the bigger festivals in the world, it also generates 4.4 million pounds. So our Durga Puja in itself, the economy grows towards almost 4 times that.
Exactly.
So when we look at this number, we understand that this is the internal numbers that we are speaking about.
Correct.
Now imagine a global audience actually coming in, and they keep footprints in each and every layers of the industry, like staying in a hotel, experiencing that, having food,
Traveling,
buying handicrafts, traveling across the state or the country, creating imprints in each of these sectors and the economy that can grow from 84,000 to something which we are envisioning at 2035, maybe at 2 lakh crores.
2 lakh crores.
So imagine the journey that can happen if we can bring those people on a consistent basis.
And your organization is doing that thing only.
Yeah, so from 2018 onwards, we are trying to bring a niche audience to experience this.
So how do you basically started when regarding this journey?
So this
2019,
this journey, as I told you earlier also, that me and Bodhisattva was having these discussions and all, and we realized that something needed to be done about it. And then we realized that the gap is not in that we do not have authenticity or we are not making good things. The gap was how can we create, because there are people who actually does a lot of tourism around Durga Puja.
Correct.
That was also there. But can we actually go a step further by not just become another tour operator, but become an ecosystem experience developer where the tour operators, the restaurant owners, the hotels, the handicraft players who are showcasing their productions here, can all this be a part of the entire experience that a global audience who is coming to Kolkata to visit Durga Puja will experience. If that can happen, then the entire ecosystem will get an upliftment. And on top of that, what happens is economic benefits of it will be reaped by all the ecosystem players. Rather than competing, can we become collaborators? That
Correct.
was our main thought when we started Greatest Show on Earth. And that is the reason we also believed that when you are trying to bring in somebody to showcase your festival, then that festival also needs to have a bigger pool
Correct.
of people who are showcasing sheer art, which is in the eyes of a global audience should be something which is the way that French entrepreneur told us, that it's sensory overload in one of the best vintage cities I have visited. So that is a great tagline for us.
Correct.
When somebody says this. So can we do that? So that is where Greatest Show on Earth started operating, that we will become the bridge. So the cultural export of it, the cultural experience of it should not happen only from the religious side, but also from the sensory side of it, so that the stories that are revolving around Durga Puja, the people working behind that, how they can be actually pulled into the scene. Therefore, we started the GSOE Awards.
Okay.
So that GSOE Awards is something which we want to understand, that those people who are the unsung heroes of Durga Puja, like the Kumartuli artisans who
Okay.
prepare the idols, the electricians who creates massive illuminations across the city, the installations being done, the artisans, can they be somehow benefited in such a way that the darkness beneath the lamp can also be uplifted, so that the lamp in itself creates better illumination? That is the thought process, and that's why we ensured that through our award, each category winner has to provide 60% of their prize money to those artisans, to those idol makers, or to those electricians who are working day and night to actually uplift this to be showcased to the global audience. So they cannot be left behind. So rather than making Greatest Show on Earth, we want to make this a greatest equitable show on earth. That is
Exactly.
our motto.
That's excellent. But how do you, what is the authenticity that 60% of the prize money will be going towards the artisans?
So that is what we have ensured through our mechanism. So the payments are being done in such a way that it is being given to us with their proofs that this has been transferred to them. Then only the things are.
So you are going for
released.
digital banking also.
Yeah, we go. Our third party auditory system is there, which audits
excellent.
that whether it is done and all. So we have placed a proper system around it.
So it is basically totally a transparent system that you
Totally
are following.
transparent system, and it is being declared right during the registration process, so that nobody has any ambiguity about it.
Correct. But now just you tell me, if a terracotta work of Vishnupur, say, I'm just as an example asking you, when it is sold overseas, because what I understand that when the foreigners will be coming here, many of them may be entrepreneurs also, so they might get a chance to go for a new business avenue also. So a basic thing is that the terracotta. at what price it can be sold at, say, UK market, US, or
So
say
I
Singapore?
will give you a very interesting example.
Okay.
So what happens is, if you look at here in itself, if you are going to buy for that, we keep on bargaining for that
Correct,
price,
correct.
right? And that price may not be more than 500
No.
for a particular size. Now this same thing I have seen in Lucerne when I was there, Switzerland. There was a India Day celebration that was
Okay.
happening, and there was an artisan from Bishnupur who has gone there to sell
Wow.
his work. And I have seen them, those same articles which are being bargained here for a meager price, being sold at 80 euros.
In which year?
It was in 2014-15.
That means euro was around 65 to 70.
65 to 70, around like that.
Okay.
So almost 5,000, which is 10 times
Almost
what is being
5,000.
sold here. So a 10x at that point in time, it might have gone up now as well, from the inflationary perspective as well. Now, if you look at that, what is the barrier that is now happening is, now if you want to sell your work from here to those countries, there are a lot of statutory compliances that you need to bring in,
Correct.
which perhaps the artisans are unable to do. Now, if I can bring in the global audience here, and if the global audience starts appreciating those work and they get a sizable bulk orders, now imagine for them getting those compliances done becomes much easier.
Correct.
Now, if I get that easier, then to export that also becomes easier, and
Correct.
therefore the economy gets uplifted. That is the work that we are trying to do.
So, basically, you are speaking of FDIs. If I am not wrong, FDIs in the artisan sector, or I mean in the marginal category.
Absolutely.
So that the marginal category gets an upliftment.
So if you see, if somebody is creating a decor,
Okay.
now that decor gets attracted to a global audience, and he feels that when I am actually decorating my own urban space, can this be utilized there? So this opens up a plethora of opportunities for this particular artisan.
Correct.
It opens up for an urban design. It opens up for interior design. Even in construction sectors, how can these materials be utilized?
Correct.
So each and every segment of that particular art installation then becomes an opportunity for me to provide opportunities for economic growth.
Just like when an Indian is going to, say, Egypt, he's purchasing the miniatures of a pyramid.
Absolutely.
So the same thing is happening in a reverse.
Reverse way.
Trying for the same thing in a reverse way.
Absolutely. So what we are trying to do is we want to bring the global audience here, and they take it back from here, so that our local economy gets a complete boost.
Okay. So it is not only a business, it is basically a noble way of thinking also. The thought process that you are in, you and your team are working on.
So what we are trying to do is not only into the art installation, only this.
Okay.
What we are also trying to do is from the artist's perspective.
Correct.
What happens is we have also seen that they are making the idols,
Exactly.
and yet their next generation is not feeling secured of that profession.
Wow. Yes.
They feel that if I could have done something which is much more stabler, then I would have gone into that profession rather than this, which has a lot of uncertainty. How can we then showcase it to the world if my pool of artists starts thinking this way? So therefore this upliftment is very important. Rather than instant gratification, we are trying to build it from this grassroots level so that they also get those benefits. Once they get those benefits, the next generation will be enticed enough to work towards and contributing towards that, rather than thinking that I should not do this work because that is not giving me those sort of accolades or maybe the amount of economic benefits that I should get. So how can that be brought in here?
Correct. So basically what you are trying not to showcase Durga Puja as a religion or religious festival also, but also as a booster for the economy of West Bengal or India at large, or even for the marginal workers, the artists or artisans also.
Yes, and because Durga Puja has gone way beyond being just a religious festival. Here, the main sheer aspect of Durga Puja is this inclusivity, and it provides opportunity.
Inclusivity, that's amazing.
Opportunity provided at every levels at every skill level and democratization of employment opportunities, right from the artisans to the person who is cleaning or maybe volunteering for crowd control. The entire level work has been democratized here. So that is what will make it more inclusive, more equitable, and that's the power of Durga Puja and the creative economy that works around it.
Excellent endeavor. Arnab, I must appreciate that. The world will appreciate, Indians will appreciate that, the way you are thinking and you are executing. Thinking is one way, and what I want to understand is that in Durga Puja, if I go for some micro-analysis, whether it is the clay models of Ma Durga, okay, or the decorations, every aspect has its own economics.
Absolutely.
Correct? So can you just elaborate on that?
So that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh.
That when you look at idols, maybe Pandal designers,
Correct.
architects, artists, engineers, they are creating individual economic opportunities. I just will give you one industry, that is the lighting industry.
Okay.
The entire lighting industry, because of the temporary connections, those temporary connections have got a surge of 542% over the last 15 years. Electricity. As an infrastructure perspective, if you look at it, that is one side. The second is the illumination that is being done across the pandals.
Correct.
What you see is a market size of 100 CR.
100 CR, only from 5-day lighting?
Only from that 5 to 7 day lighting.
And the state government is also earning of that?
Not only the state government, the electricity providers, everything. And on top of that, to make it a win-win situation for the smaller budget pujas, there is a subsidy available for people who can actually are not able to pay at first towards that electricity. Mm-hmm. So that subsidy is also provided. So that's why I always believe that Durga Puja has the power of this making and taking people into that fold, making it more inclusive.
So state government is doing an amazing job for these smaller pandals also.
Yeah, so what has happened is now all the Durga Puja, all the statutory compliances and everything is under a single window system, and there the payments that needs to be done is also subsidized according to your budget.
But your organization is only facilitating those who are around 70 or 80, below
80 lakhs. So why was that? Because we were seeing that there had been a constant pool of people or pujas which had been in the budget range of more than 80 lakhs. They were constantly being applauded in majority of the awards. Correct. And they were doing an amazing job. No doubt about it. They had been doing and they are continually doing. But that is only few segment. Now there are few Durga Pujas who aspire to do great work and are also thinking in those lines but are unable to get that due to that budget constraint or something, or people are not highlighting them because they are not in the league of these highlighted ones. Now when I am trying to showcase the entire pool to the entire global audience, that global audience will only do not want to visit 5 places.
Exactly.
So there has to be 25 places. Obviously, these 5 places will not be doing the same thing every year. That is the opulence of art that we have here. But the name of that particular place will become too obvious to them. We want to bring that as a exclusive factor to them, that every year you get a new flavor, but that new flavor comes from new places and that new place provides a new experience. That is the pool that we want to create, and that's why we started actually uplifting these sort of pujas as well, so that creates a bigger pool for our global audience.
Excellent. So normally do you do any promotional activities overseas of your organization, or how it actually works? Because
so what we do is we generally tie up with a lot of B2B players who are working in inbound tourism to India and Kolkata. So we pitch to them about this. So even we had actually pitched to our India tourism as well. So last year when we did our Jagadhatri Puja Awards, so in Jagadhatri Puja Awards we hosted it in the French consulate home in Kolkata, because that has a French connection, Chandon Nagar and all.
Correct.
So that was the thought process, and India Tourism regional head Mr. Pranav Prakash was there, and they actually shared it from their Instagram handle as well, what GSOE is doing for entire, because we believe that it is the economy not limited to Durga Puja now. if you look at October month or October, November, these 2 months, there are entire festivities that happens. So from the Durga Puja,
17th, the Vishwakarma Puja starts. Or the Ganesh Puja.
Ganesh Puja,
Yeah.
then Durga Puja, then Kali Puja, Lakshmi Puja, Jagadhatri Puja. Now, if you consider entire thing, if this can be considered as a singular package, then it becomes a October to November festival for Bengal.
Exactly.
So I want to create and showcase from GSOE's perspective that the Bengal month is in the global map, that everybody sees October, they think of Kolkata.
Exactly, and after that comes the
entire
Chandannagar, the Jagadhatri Puja, is that the lighting
and there
is
are
amazing.
many other places where you can actually feel. So in our geography, we are blessed to have different diversity. So we have the hills, we have the seas, we have the jungles, we have everything.
Correct.
So we can actually showcase it to them, and that in itself will, again, that imprint will boost up the economy.
Exactly.
So that's the precise back-end thought process from GSOE, that people should come in not only just to visit and go, but also they will be our ambassadors. And that's why our Durga Puja awards is not limited to Kolkata Puja. We have actually created a platform in association with Bengal Global Connect and Heritage Bengal Global, where we have connected 60 countries in a single platform.
How come? And how it became possible in such a 7 years?
Who does Durga Puja in those countries?
Okay.
So that is
when I was not even ever being a Bengali, that there are 60 countries in the world where Durga Puja is celebrated.
Yeah, and on top of that, those celebrations in few places are happening more than 50 to 60 years. That is the interesting part of it. So
is that the power of Ma Durga? Ma Durga is universal. That's why you always
imagine why are we recognizing these pujas? Because here still we have a thriving ecosystem.
Correct.
Which supports those clubs or organizing puja committees who are doing that puja. But in those foreign land, when somebody is doing it, they're doing it from the sheer passion of promoting what we are actually from within in a foreign shore. So they are our cultural ambassadors.
Correct.
So how can we recognize them so that they in itself become the cultural ambassadors of the authentic puja that happens in Kolkata? So promoting Kolkata's Durga Puja as a global tourism destination requires cultural ambassadors who are already promoting that in their own space. How can we recognize them and bring them to the forefront? That was the thought process.
Exactly.
And of those 60 countries, last year in our Puja Awards, we had felicitated 8 countries who were physically present to take that recognition.
I have seen one video on YouTube probably of a French TV channel. They were covering Durga Puja.
Yeah, so interestingly, the person came through GSOE.
Oh, wow.
And he gathered all these with us. The entire thing, from the flower markets to the Durga Puja festivities, to the audience coming in, to the experiences that he had, he encapsulated into a 10-minute feature in France's one of the premier channels called TF1.
Oh, wow.
And it is being showcased, and perhaps that is the video that you have encountered.
Probably have seen that.
So for us, when we see that Durga Puja being aired in a globally acclaimed channel in their language,
exactly, it was in French only.
Sometimes this gives us a lot of boost to our thought process that yes, we are on the right track.
Correct.
So we this is the power what we can actually showcase to the world.
Correct. So it is basically the divine power, I think.
Absolutely. So this year even Times Square will be having Kolkata's Durga Puja.
Okay.
So in Times Square, a group of people are first time will be organizing Durga Puja.
Wow. And the British government have allowed that one.
US government.
US government, sorry.
Yeah. And definitely they are in the GSOE recognition list this year.
Wow.
Because wherever who are promoting Kolkata's Durga Puja, they are our brand ambassadors. And we have taken upon us to recognize them and make them that pillar who will promote Kolkata's Durga Puja in turn.
There is one puja, Durga Puja on Thames or something is there. Can you just...
Yeah, so
Can you
Thames
just-
Durga Parade.
Okay.
It's now rechristened as Lal Baba Rai's Thames Durga Parade because Lal Baba Rai is the title for this. They understood the power of Durga Puja being showcased at Thames. So Heritage Bengal Global and Global Connect, that platform we were talking about, they had been doing it for the last 3-4 years, where in the Thames, Kolkata's Durga Puja is being showcased through boats, and London Rowing Club and Calcutta Rowing Club are their partners, where
Okay.
there are these boats which actually work as their escorts when Ma Durga is being carried across the Thames.
Excellent.
And when people around Thames start seeing this, they immediately want to know what is this.
Wow.
And when you want to know, you are being showcased the Kolkata's Durga Puja, and therefore we again promote that as a tourism destination. So Thames Durga Parade is a brilliant initiative, and what their director Anirban Mukhopadhyay, again a pointer.
Oh,
by the way. So what he had ensured is when Durga idol is being carried on Thames, the London Tower Bridge should open up for our idol. So that's
an
in
amount of
itself
respect.
amount of respect and visual effect that he has been able to garner to actually bring back global tourism into Kolkata. So and on top of that, how can this cultural aspect be tied in with the business aspect is that Bengal Global Business Connect meet that happened last year in December. From this platform itself, 15 country representations were there to talk about how can we engage in business activities to promote Bengal.
Wow.
So one of them came in here and said that if somebody from Calcutta wants to study in my country or wants to
Do business.
he is more than welcome to do internships in my organization and in my place. A great platform for business activities running through Durga Puja as well. So this is the entire planning that we had done, and we are not stopping here. We will definitely want to take it to a level where this becomes as a continuous process and people start knowing that yes, Durga Puja is something. We know, we are passionate, but the entire world doesn't know that way.
Correct.
So we have to take it on ourselves to create these stories. So that's why we are creating this, so that first we develop our own thing in such a way that is appealing enough, and then we go and tell them these stories. So then it will become a win-win situation.
So on a macro sense, Ma Durga, on a religious sense, she was basically earlier universal. Now in terms of business, she is becoming global, and now you are providing a platform where FDIs and ODIs will flow in, and Ma Durga also becoming signature for economy also, because Ma Lakshmi is with Ma Durga also.
So Ma Durga carries with her the symbol of knowledge, symbol
Correct.
of prosperity, everything. So for us, she is the divine mother, right?
Exactly.
And mother always feels that her children should always be in absolute sense of thriving.
Correct.
With all the resources and everything available to them. And that's why I believe that there is a divine intervention which happens when we work towards this. We are seeing a lot of people getting involved into this sort of activities that we are trying to do, because everybody feels that this is something which should be showcased to the world because of its sheer presence of intellectual capacity, rigor, art effects that are being displayed. That has this potential. So why should we not let that harness its own potential and move towards that ladder? And rather than not becoming a ladder, can we create a lattice where the entire ecosystem
Correct.
takes it to a broadened and deepened way?
Okay. Excellent initiative. Another thing I want to know. Well, it is a bit critical, on a critical side.
Mm-hmm.
Our infrastructure is ready for the show.
This is what we call in 3 A's.
Okay.
So 1 A is authenticity. Our Kolkata's Durga Puja does not need any sort of reassurance on authenticity.
Correct.
We have that. It's a legacy of so many years. The next question comes is about accessibility and amplification.
Correct.
Amplification we have started doing on our limited capacity that we have, and we are seeing a lot of good results. access is where we need to work on, and it cannot happen in a day. Now, it's like a chicken and egg situation that we keep on saying that somebody should create the infrastructure, then this will happen. But when we create that infrastructure, we need a fund to create that infrastructure.
Exactly.
Now, somebody will say the fund is not available, therefore we cannot. And therefore, if we keep not doing it, then we will not be able to amplify. So, when we amplify the story and bring them here and give them a niche experience which we are building, then what happens is they will be spending. So through that spending, the economy will get boosted, and therefore with that push, the infrastructure will start moving in that direction. So we are trying to reverse the trend that, okay, we are waiting for somebody to create the infrastructure. We are trying to bring in something which in turn will push that policy infrastructural changes that can happen. So how can we, rather than criticizing, how can we contribute towards that development?
Excellent
is
thought
what
process.
we are trying to do.
So, Arnab, just tell me one more thing. When the foreigners will be coming in India, they will be also visiting other parts, say Varanasi or Goa or even the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have plans that so that your organization will be catering to those also?
Yes. So what is happening is the entire world knew about the spiritual triangle, the golden
Correct.
triangle,
Yes,
the
yes,
historical aspect of it, and there are a lot of tourism that happens around it. Even the Rajasthan, the Goa, everything has been showcased in such a way that happens. So our first job was to create that in that map, can we bring in and have a conversation about Durga Puja.
Okay.
So that is the first base that we wanted to create, because that is what we believe that can drive in the other tourism as well. Now imagine somebody coming here and then saying that, okay, I want to visit other parts of the country. Now therefore, they will be going into that tourist route, and doing that, they are looking at this as the filter. So using that, we also need to move into that direction where I can give them the same cultural experience that we are giving them here, the authentic tourism experience there. So our next obvious stop will be that. And that is what we are also planning. And thankfully, that work we had done in limited capacity for our own visitors. We had taken them to different interesting places. But that tourism also comes with a clause that we want to create that as an experience and not just as a tourism. So some speciality is always added in the GSOE experience, and that has been recognized by even Times of India last year when they actually called us and awarded with the emerging B2B travel organization in that segment, which gives authentic experience. So that was the line they had quoted.
You told that there are 60 countries where Durga Puja is celebrated. Does GOI, I mean Government of India, has also business terms with them, or there are many small countries where Government of India doesn't have business terms? Okay. But Durga Puja is celebrated and you are in touch with them. So the economy is opening up for India as well as for them also.
Yes. So what happens is these countries, obviously, they are not directly related to the Government of India tie-ups and all.
Can you cite some examples?
I will cite. So from Lagos
to
Argentina to USA to UK to Brazil, Sao Paulo, you name it. You can actually now name it. So there is a Durga Puja happening. Singapore has its Durga Puja running for 60 years now.
Yes.
So there are so many. In UK itself, there are more than 12. Perhaps this year, 2 more will be added to that. USA has that. Switzerland has that. So if you name these sort of countries where Durga Puja is happening, you have to imagine that Durga Puja is being done by people from Bengal or having a connection to Kolkata's Durga Puja who had been doing some good work there. So obviously, when you are bringing in some sort of things, there is a footfall of dignitaries coming in. Now these dignitaries, seeing this, understand that there is something happening. So that way the business terms can flow. And that is the other side of it. When we tie up with Bengal Global Connect, in the program where we want to bring in this business, we are actually seeing how the foreign and the Indian government also can bridge this tie. Can the local government and that local government can be bridged into these tie-ups so that together we can create this sort of a authentic upliftment of the economy.
So basically, it is not only a socio-economic platform that you are trying to create in West Bengal or India at large, but also pan-world also, you are basically creating a common platform which will be boosting the economy of both the countries.
Absolutely. And we envision GSOE to one day become like a Michelin star of restaurants that happened. So can GSOE become that authentic platform which can actually give you those standards on how a cultural export can happen through quality, through safety, through the experiences that we are trying to create.
Oh, amazing, amazing. And before we wind up, some more queries or questions or points of the Addas that I'm always curious to know from you. The way when you are talking or thinking of geopolitics, any chance we can see you in the Indian politics very soon?
Not really. I'm quite. This has been like a question that obviously comes when you trying to create an impact. But
you're creating an impact.
Yes. So when you're doing an impactful work, the next progression perhaps comes into this sort of a thought that whether you go into this. We strongly believe that you are in your core doing something which you are passionate about and you are capable about. So when I ask Saurav Ganguly to play football, will he be equally authentic? We do not know.
Correct.
So when I am authentic in some place, why should I take that plunge into something which I am really not inclined or do not want to do? For me, what I am trying to create is an impact which in turn will uplift the entire socio-economic background of the entire population. There will be some minimal contribution from my side, which in itself will be my boost to move into another project which can again create an impact. So that is my kick and I am quite fine in that.
Excellent way of saying that. Honestly, many of the Bengalis who are not aware of your organization, or want to contribute in Durga Puja. Not every time in monetary aspect it is not possible for everyone, but as participation. So are you open to receive those people? And if they want to connect you, how they will connect you?
So our best option is to connect through our Instagram channel GSOE.
Can you tell me slowly so that everyone can know if they're
greatest show on earth, GSOE.
Correct.
That is our Instagram handle. And also our website, GSOE Durga, DURGAPUJA.com. If you visit that, you will get the entire itinerary that we have, the awards that we do, the recognition that we do for the global pujas. Everything is captured there.
Okay, excellent. So, Arnab, we are basically coming to the end of our Adda or gossip, what we can say, because since we're discussing in English this time for such a huge response that we received after the previous podcast, that was amazing. I never thought of that also. And you also told that you received so many calls and everything. So, and finally, and that's where we close today, Jomiye Adda. From pandals to profits, dhak beats to data sheets, we saw how Durga Puja is not just worship, but also work, wonder, and wow. If there's one thing we learned, it's this, that Durga Puja is not only about celebrating a goddess, it's about celebrating people, creativity, community, and yes, the economy that thrives when joy takes over the streets. So whether you are in Kolkata or California, Maddox Square or Manhattan, Puja is a reminder when art, devotion, and business come together, life feels fuller, brighter, and unstoppable. On behalf of our guest Arnab Basu and myself Surya, thank you for listening. Keep smiling, keep celebrating, and remember, Pujo is not just 5 days, it's a feeling, an emotion, and obviously a billion-dollar industry and billion-dollar heartbeat. So, Arnab,
thank you so
sign
much
off.
for having me here. And to all our listeners, come experience the greatest show on earth and be part of writing its next chapter of global cultural harmony. Because when you experience this greatest show on earth, you are not just witnessing art, you are participating in our model of how culture, community, and economy can walk together to create something beautiful and sustainable that transcends boundaries.
Thank you, Arnab.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.